The Trump administration's controversial deportation of approximately 250 Venezuelan nationals, allegedly affiliated with gangs, to El Salvador on Saturday, has ignited a firestorm of legal and political contention. The operation, undertaken amidst a flurry of legal challenges, raises serious questions about the administration's adherence to judicial authority and the ethical implications of its actions. The saga began on Friday when the Trump administration, under the cloak of secrecy, invoked the Alien Enemies Act of 1798, a law designed for wartime use, to justify the deportations. This move immediately drew the ire of progressive groups, prompting swift legal action. A lawsuit was filed to halt the deportations, leading to an emergency hearing before U.S. District Judge James E. Boasberg on Saturday. During the hearing, Judge Boasberg issued a temporary restraining order, halting further deportations under the Alien Enemies Act. Adding a layer of urgency, he issued a verbal directive, demanding the immediate return to the U.S. of any flights already en route to El Salvador utilizing this controversial act. The judge's clear and concise instruction, delivered around 6:51 p.m. ET, left no room for misinterpretation. "This is something that you need to make sure is complied with immediately," he emphasized, according to the Washington Post. At this critical juncture, flight tracking data, as reported by Axios, indicated that the two deportation flights were already over the Yucatan Peninsula, seemingly defying the judge's order. Adding insult to injury, El Salvador's President Nayib Bukele, seemingly reveling in the situation, gleefully announced on social media that the planes had landed and the detainees were in custody, punctuating his post with a flippant, "Oopsie." Too late, superimposed over a news article detailing the judge's order. The Trump administration's response was a defiant attempt to deflect responsibility. White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt issued a statement on Monday, claiming the administration had not refused to comply with the court order. Unnamed administration officials, speaking to Axios, echoed this sentiment, arguing that the order was inapplicable because the planes were already outside U.S. airspace when the ruling was delivered. This assertion was further buttressed by the administration's claim, reported by ABC News, that operational and national security concerns necessitated the planes landing in El Salvador. The administration's claim that the planes departed during the Saturday hearing adds another layer of complexity to the narrative. When pressed by a reporter on Sunday about the potential violation of the judge's orders, President Trump deflected responsibility, stating, "I don't know, you have to speak to the lawyers about that," while adding his assertion that these were bad people. A Sunday court filing by the Trump administration claimed that some Venezuelans had been removed before the judge's order, offering a potential alternative legal basis for the deportations without providing any specifics. The New York Times highlighted that this filing subtly suggested the existence of alternative legal justifications beyond the contested Alien Enemies Act. The American Civil Liberties Union, ACLU, and Democracy Forward, the organizations that initiated the lawsuit, filed a motion on Monday, strongly alleging a blatant violation of the court's order and demanding further clarification from the administration. They specifically requested the administration to detail the departure times of all flights and to confirm whether any departures occurred after Judge Boasberg's directive. In response, Judge Boasberg scheduled a hearing for Monday afternoon to demand an explanation from the Trump administration. The legal arguments surrounding the administration's actions are as complex as they are contentious. Georgetown law professor Steve Vladeck criticized the administration's claim that the order was inapplicable once the planes left U.S. airspace. He argued, via social media, that a federal court's jurisdiction extends beyond U.S. territorial waters, emphasizing that the question is whether the defendants are subject to the court order, not where the conduct being challenged takes place. He further stated to the Associated Press that while the verbal directive wasn't formally part of the written order, the administration blatantly disregarded the order's spirit. Peter Markovits, a Cardozo Law School professor and immigration enforcement expert, echoed this sentiment, telling Reuters that the administration's actions most certainly violate the court's order. The controversy surrounding these deportations extends far beyond the immediate legal ramifications. It underscores broader concerns about the use of outdated legislation, the potential abuse of executive power, and the administration's apparent disregard for judicial oversight in matters of immigration and national security. The ensuing legal battles will undoubtedly shed further light on this highly charged and controversial episode, raising fundamental questions about the delicate balance between national security concerns, due process, and the rule of law. The case serves as a stark reminder of the complexities and ethical challenges inherent in immigration enforcement policies and the critical role of judicial review in safeguarding individual rights. The Trump administration's actions will undoubtedly continue to be dissected and debated, shaping the ongoing discourse surrounding immigration and the limits of executive authority. The full impact of this episode will undoubtedly resonate for years to come, shaping future debates and legal precedents. The coming hearings promise to unveil further information and clarify the extent of the administration's compliance, or lack thereof, with the court's orders.